All right, welcome back to Flecka Soxa Podcast, episode 272. Today on the show, we struck Iran and they kind of struck back. We're going to tell you what happened there. Then we show you some before and afters of towns when ICE comes through. It's pretty interesting stuff. Then in Cringe of the Week, robots are racist because they're white. We'll explain that. And last but not least, in Urban Decay, there's a new crime called jugging. And we're going to tell you who these horrible juggers are. All this and more. It's Flecka Soxa Podcast, episode 272, ranked the best news podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Flecka Soxa Podcast featuring Richard Grabboy.
All right, one for one on the intro, as always. Guys, our country just witnessed Donald Trump overcome political persecution, an assassination attempt, and the entire deep state in order to regain the presidency in a historic victory. There's one secret ingredient that allowed Trump to do all of this, and that is testosterone. What most people don't realize is testosterone makes men willing and eager to take on challenges, but sadly, too many of us have lost our fight, and that's exactly how the globalists want us. They want us weak, out of shape, and full of microplastics and estrogen with low T. That's why we've decided to partner with Chalk. Chalk offers a whole lineup of products formulated to increase your energy, focus, detoxify your body, and clinically studied boost your testosterone. Ingredients in the Chalk Male Vitality Stack have been clinically studied to boost free testosterone by 87% in just 21 days. Unlike the gimmicky vegetable pills or powder, you will feel the difference, and they have the clinical studies to back it up. And right now, you can get 25% off of your Chalk subscription for life. Just go to chalk.com, CHOQ.com, and use promo code FLECKUS. And the best part, you can cancel easily at any time. Chalk is made in America, and their all-American customer service team is standing by and ready to assist you. Let's make male vitality great again. Get your Chalk today. CHOQ.com is the website, promo code FLECKUS. And you could also call them at 50-CHALK-3000. Everything is linked in the description. Thank you to Chalk for sponsoring. Let's get into housekeeping. All right, thank you to Chalk for sponsoring.
Thank you, Chalk.
And thank you to The Weeknd as well.
The musical artist or the past 2 days?
Just the Sunday and Saturday, Friday, and now, yeah.
Okay, why?
Just happy weekend, you know?
That's over. You're talking to people on Tuesday morning. That's very far away. I think that's disrespectful to the audience.
That is a little disrespectful, so sorry to remind you guys about what the weekend is.
It's far away.
All right, we have a lot to get to. The Iran stuff.
Yeah.
We were kind of hoping it wasn't going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And
the neocons got what they wanted.
The neocons got what they wanted.
Haley, Ben Shapiro, Mark
Dave
Levin,
Rubin.
Dave Rubin. Oh!
Dave Rubin's bricked.
Dave Rubin went, oh! And then that was just from his husband.
Yeah, that's so
and then
true.
the Iran strikes happened. So it's very disappointing. It was sad to see. It's a distraction. But also at the same time,
it's not as bad as we thought.
It's mostly over.
It's mostly over. It doesn't seem like another war. And we're going to go right into it because that is the story of the last few weeks. Mm-hmm. And we're not going to slow play it. We're just going to get right into it. Can you read the strike thing and then the reply?
Yeah, so everybody knows we bunker busted them. We busted their bunkers. And then Iran struck back. I say Iran still because I'm just an American. I'm not doing the Kiev thing.
What are you supposed to say?
Iran. You're supposed to have it with Iran.
I don't talk like that.
Yeah, I don't speak like that either. So I just want to let you guys know we know about that. We choose not to. Iran, like I'm George Bush.
Iran, Kiev, Qatar.
Barcelona.
Yeah.
It's easy. I'm not changing from 90s America. So breaking 6 Iranian missiles launched at America's Al Udeid air base in Qatar per Axios. Qatar is another one. Qatar. They try to change that to Qatar.
Not doing that.
So yeah, this is kind of following the Soleimani playbook when we airstruck Soleimani, an Iranian general that we didn't like. where they kind of do a retaliatory strike, but they kind of go, hey, we're about to strike, and they're not really going to hit anything.
It's just for show, and they warned us beforehand as well. So I appreciate that. And they're ready to negotiate now.
That's pretty respectful. You get bunker busted and you go, hey, we got to do something for the people. That's pretty respectful, honestly.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, can you read that context?
Yeah, Iran gave advance notice of the attack on the U.S. airbase in Qatar to minimize casualties, per New York Times. This was the outcome I've been saying was most likely to occur, as it allows Iran to save face and allow an off-ramp for both sides. And yeah, that's what they did with Soleimani. That was in January 2020. Trump did the same thing, a unilateral strike that took out a general, and they launched some missiles at an Air Force base that we had in Iraq. And this time they did Qatar, and hopefully tensions are declining.
Yep, no one died, so it seems like no big deal. Hopefully that's the end of it. The CIA did have a warning, though.
Former CIA hacker warns that the U.S. will likely face a massive cyber attack from Iran within the next 30 days.
So that's not great.
Yeah.
And then we're also hearing about like sleeper cell activations.
That's the difference, because we're talking about 2020 and what happened in between that time and then this time, 4 years of Joe Biden letting anybody who wanted to come across the border.
Yeah, so there is a threat of sleeper cells. And then also if the sleeper cells do get activated and start doing attacks, there might be a call for like mass surveillance. And we can use Palantir to identify everyone so we can get the terrorists out, and we can use it to get the illegals out. And now you have this world where like the right wing is calling for a surveillance state, which is not in anyone's best interest when it comes to your rights.
Yeah, you're right. And, you know, for those lone wolf attacks, you got to know your area, right? If you're in Dearborn, Michigan, Houston, L.A., random places like that where there's a high Muslim population.
That's a good point.
Head on a swivel.
Head on a swivel. And then here's how they explained it on Fox News, the original attack that we did. It made it seem like it's a movie.
Yeah, so what we're looking at here is we're being told this is, I think, anywhere from just shy of 200 to 300 feet in depth. There are all kind of reports out there of 1,000 foot, but I think that's more propaganda. So what you end up doing is if you saw the movie, the latest Top Gun movie, eerily enough, this is that plot kind of coming to fruition in real life. It's not just one bomb. It'll be a bomb after a bomb to get through that penetration.
And just lastly...
So it's like a movie. It's like Top Gun, that summer box office hit from last year.
That you guys all saw. It's exactly like Top Gun.
That they released right before doing it.
Yeah.
Dave Rubin likes that.
Well, and you know what? That's what shit's based on, right? You know, Tom Cruise does his research. He gets someone who knows a tentative plan for something. Tom Cruise knows.
Thank you, Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And then we have an explanation. I saw this on Twitter. Someone was explaining about the B-2 pilots and kind of what they do to pull something like this off. And I thought it was pretty interesting. I'm not for the war. I'm not for regime change, but this is kind of cool.
My buddy was a B-2 pilot. He flew one of these extremely long missions several years ago. The mission was 2 pilots, 36.3 hours of flight time, Missouri to Iraq and back to Missouri. The mission required 5 air refuelings, taking on over 500,000 pounds of gas total. These pilots are legends.
So that is pretty cool. What about pissing?
Piss in a bucket, like a trucker. You piss in a gallon.
You have that spaceship $1 billion plane.
$2 billion.
And then they go, oh, if you need to piss, just piss in a bucket.
Yeah. So obviously, yeah, they piss in a bucket. There was a microwave, apparently. And so that's the thing. You know, we didn't want to get involved at all. We don't want Nikki Haley types, neocons, to be like, ha, we did it. We have domestic problems, but you have to like look at it, the cool parts of the mission. Where obviously it's a sick op, right? But so you're like, I don't want to be involved, but tell me again how they did it. Refueled 5 times. Like, it's pretty sick. Yeah. Took off from the continental U.S., and I think the first time we ever did that, it was with B-52 bombers during Operation Desert Storm. They took off from somewhere in Louisiana and went all the way to like Kuwait or Iraq, wherever they struck first.
That's cool stuff.
Cool shit, yeah. And the B-2 is obviously a marvel. And the whole time, like, Iran never knew we were there. We just bunker busted them.
Yeah, we entered the airspace. There was no shots on our plane.
We dominated everybody. It's pretty fucking sick. And, you know, I hate it. But it's pretty fucking sick, you know?
Yeah. And then obviously when it comes to war and there's tensions, you kind of remember where you were when you found out. Like
Absolutely.
in 9/11, I remember where I was when I found out it happened. A little different this time when I found out we struck Iran. This is where I was.
Iran's nuclear program, and I think the president took decisive action to destroy that program last night.
Congressman Jim Himes from Connecticut, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee.
Bottom line.
So that's how I found out.
On the Frogmouth Chatterpal radio. Yeah, makes sense.
All right. Jokes aside.
Okay. Yeah, we're not really taking this seriously. I mean, some people are very pissed, and we're going to kind of get to that.
And we're pissed too.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a little bit, but
we can't have Trump's second term get fucked and bogged down by this.
Sure.
Because then they can just kind of waste time. If we don't get any deportations, the economy doesn't get on the right track, they can waste the rest of Trump's time. Democrats get back in power, and then we get put into a gulag. And then Ron DeSantis doesn't defend me and get me out of the gulag because I made fun of his height boots. And I made that picture of Rob DeSantis, which is Rob Smith and Ron DeSantis put together.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't defend me, and I'm put in the gulag, and I'm going to die in a few years.
Absolutely.
So that's what I don't want to happen. And then in New York, now that we did this attack, people are protesting and waving the Iranian flag, as you can see in the background here. There's a lot of protesters not happy. But I thought it was pretty interesting because New Yorkers protesting have waved the Ukraine flag, the Palestinian flag, the Mexican flag, and now it's Iran.
And the Palestine, Mexico, Iran, that's all in a span of like 3.5 weeks, right?
The flag business is booming.
And so that's part of the reason we're sensitive to the side on the right who really didn't want to intervene at all, who feels like we're too tied in with Israel and Israeli interests, and too many dual loyalty Americans are celebrating this so much because they got what they wanted. And America did exactly what they wanted them to. And a huge part of this rising tension is the domestic situation. We have all these fucking random foreigners in our country. It's more expensive to buy a house than ever. Inflation kind of took away our purchasing power, money printing, inflation, which both parties were responsible for.
Yeah, 50 million illegals, the money's gone, you can't buy a house. So that's an easy 3.
It's just not the fucking time to be doing this. And I think we're getting away with it relatively easy after that Iran response. But man, you're gambling with it. And you know, people are going to talk shit. Russia, China, America, Iran, Israel. They're all going to say their little piece. But man, the American appetite for this type of intervention, especially on the right, is just at an all-time low. And especially with the older generation starting to go and the younger come-up generation, nobody has a positive view on intervention. So
definitely not. And then I saw on Comedy Central, John Leibowitz, otherwise known as Jon Stewart, had this to say. He was trying to make a point and make it seem like the right's being hypocritical, but he actually says something we're okay with.
Perhaps the reason why the president is being cagey about all this is because not all of the MAGA are embracing Netanyahu's bomb fetishes.
We cannot be inexorably dragged into a war in the Middle East.
We put America first, and that means American interests first.
Our MAGA base, they do not want the United States to be engaged in this.
I don't know anyone that wakes up and thinks about bombing Iran.
She doesn't know anyone who wakes up and thinks about bombing Iran. I got to tell you. I don't think she knows anyone who wakes up and thinks. But credit. I enjoyed that one. But you know what? I'm going to say this. This may surprise some people. Credit where credit is due. I certainly have tremendous policy and, in some instances, space laser differences with these folks. But I applaud any group that is steadfast in a diplomacy-first posture. The only problem with their posture that I see with it is their reluctance to commit America's military to fighting drawn-out and often pointless wars doesn't seem to extend to America.
President Trump should fully deploy the military in the streets. Take back the streets of LA. Do it and do it fast.
Huh? Doesn't want to be in Iran.
So he makes fun of us for wanting to use the military in our own homeland when we have all of these foreign nationals here and all these issues.
50 million, probably.
And he's trying to make it like it's a joke and, we should be using, the military over east in the Middle East in these endless wars instead?
I guess. I don't really know what his opinion is there, other than making fun of Marjorie Taylor Greene a little bit and taking a layup joke. I would think he was better than that. She doesn't think at all.
And the crowd goes wild.
Hold for applause, dude.
The crowd goes wild. So it's interesting to see him make fun of us for wanting to use our military to defend our homeland instead of 10 years in Iraq or whatever.
Yeah, 7,000 mile away wars. That's very weird.
Very weird. And and he's come a long way. Like, he's been doing this for years, and now he's basically on the side of the establishment. It's pretty embarrassing for him.
Yeah.
They drag him out. And then Tammy Bruce, I don't know what this was in relation to or what the context is here. This is just a quote from her I didn't like.
The pride of being able to be here and do work that facilitates making things better for people. And in the greatest country on earth, next to Israel. It is.
All right, next to Israel. What are you talking about? There's all this reverence for Israel, and then people say, whoa, it's the only country in the Middle East where there's a pride parade. I don't care about that.
I fucking hate that. Gay guys in Tel Aviv, that's your selling point? They're sucking each other? That's what Dave Rubin likes.
Dave Rubin's a big supporter. But that's the thing where they go, oh, it's the only like Western style place where gay people are accepted in the Middle East. It's like, I don't care about the Middle East at all. And then to prop that up, which is so unnatural, to have a pride parade group that's happy with pride in the Middle East in this one little pocket, and then everywhere else hates it. Doesn't it seem like kind of an uphill battle to keep that country going?
Yeah, it sounds expensive. It sounds expensive to keep the hordes out. And to be fair, I don't think she was saying after Israel as in next to Israel. I think she was just saying alongside Israel. But you really got to look for those type of quotes to not be misinterpreted.
That's a good point.
I just don't want to just slaughter people. That went viral.
Yeah.
But I think it was a misspeak more than it was next to Israel.
You'll never catch me with a misspeak like that.
That's true. That's true.
I don't even get close to that sentence.
That's extremely true.
All right. And then when it comes to Iran, hopefully, like we said, we're not in this full-blown war, but we might be eventually, because this has been in the works for decades. Listen to what this guy says. This was, I think, over 20 years ago.
He said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran. About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon, and one of the generals called me in. He said, sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second. I said, well, you're too busy. He said, no. He says, we've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq. This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, we're going to war with Iraq. Why? He said, I don't know. He said, I guess they don't.
There you go.
Yeah.
So they have this list of the 7 countries, and we've gone through every one except for Iran. So,
well, Somalia. Well, I guess we were in Somalia pretty hard. Yeah.
So what comes next? I don't know. Hopefully it happens after Trump's term.
Yeah.
Can't be sure, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, and that's the point of not giving the neocons or the warmongers a win. It's like these people have had like a straight line on what they want to do and what their vision for it should be, and you give an inch to them, and they'll try to take more. So
very true. But the good news is when times like this happen and there's strifes and military presences and people battling, patriotic Americans do step up, like this next young man.
Trump is saying he's driving everyone, every guy in the army. And if I get drafted, I want to let everybody know I will be a good soldier like my grandfather was. And if I have to serve our country and our United States.
All right. Appreciate that.
Thanks. Thank you for your future service, future hypothetical service, brother.
And I think there's a lot of people who fall into this category.
What category is that?
Well, people who are like kind of cooked, but their grandfather served in the military.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
At least he's a patriotic American and not Somali.
Yeah, this guy wouldn't steal from you. He wouldn't scam the welfare system or anything like that.
Yeah, no, he doesn't take welfare.
He might be dumb. Might be kind of a mouth breather. But he won't steal off your porch. Your Amazon packages are safe.
He won't steal your Amazon packages.
Yeah, but so Israel, Iran, not what we wanted, not great. We have so much more to do domestically, guys. And that's part of the overarching theme. Like, Trump in 2020 got away with Soleimani, threw up the American flag. Yeah, cool. It was like kind of a different environment. That is my main takeaway. And then also the elevated the way we're intertwined with Israel on this op doesn't sit right with a lot of people. Feels like we're being dog walked into it instead of leading it. And, it's a whole different landscape, and we got our own issues.
We definitely do. Well, that's the end of our Iran-Israel update. We do have another update. We kind of mentioned this last episode. The Karmello Anthony, Austin Metcalf footage was released to media, not to the public. We haven't seen it. But I thought this was interesting. They let the Daily Mail look at it.
Yeah, however, the footage reviewed by the Daily Mail at the Frisco Independent School District's headquarters shows no obvious physical confrontation between the two prior to the stabbing. The Daily Mail did not detect anything that indicated chaos was about to ensue. Strict guidelines were enforced for viewing the footage. Reporters were only permitted to take handwritten notes and were barred from capturing or republishing stills or clips.
Ooh.
So they had a weird little media come watch the tape thing, but you can't show it or share it anywhere.
And then the tape doesn't show any confrontation or escalation to violence. It just shows the attack. It doesn't show the attack itself, but it shows the reaction to it.
Yeah.
And it basically made it seem like it came out of nowhere. So I'm sure the media will be quick to correct the record and apologize and get that new story out there. Maybe the GoFundMe will return the money.
No, that's all gone.
I have a feeling it's all gone. But at least we know this, and we know that it wasn't what the other side said it was.
Yeah.
So when he gets charged for murder and put in jail, hopefully there's not any social unrest because he just killed somebody and it wasn't any sort of self-defense Tariq Nasheed thing.
One wrong Tariq Nasheed type juror, though, and he's not getting convicted. It's a mistrial.
Yep.
So
all right.
That's the sad part.
Our next story is a quick story.
But have you ever seen anything like that where the media can come and look and then report to the masses, and it's like such a sensitive video to like national security?
The Daily Mail.
Yeah, and then you pick the Daily Mail. They write about like London pensioner plucks seagull out of the air.
Yeah. That's crazy they gave them access. I would have gone and watched. All right, we had an active shooter over the weekend at a Michigan church. He was taken down by a security guard. We have the footage here, but it doesn't really show anything. It just kind of shows a little bit of noises and everyone reacting and running out. Just remember, guys, it is pepper spray season, but it's also gun season.
It's always been.
It's always gun time. Don't get it confused. Pepper spray de-escalates with the urban people and street rats, but you should have guns on you as well.
Yeah.
Just a little PSA.
For sure.
All right, speaking of active shooters, the new James Bond is going to be this black guy.
Aaron Pierre is now tipped as favorite to be the next James Bond. And there he is. He's really a nobody actor.
Yeah.
He was in that M. Night Shyamalan movie where everybody got old really quick. You remember that one?
Oh, yeah, old.
Yeah, old. Or what was it called? Old?
Yeah, he's like the old people from that movie.
Yeah.
Old. And he's going to drive a Hellcat in this one. He's going to hold the gun like this.
Blah, blah, blah. Let that thing talk.
Let the thing talk. The dialogue might suffer a little bit. Shake it, not stirred. Shake it, not stirred. Shake it, not stirred.
Yep.
And
somebody
then,
said malt liquor, stolen, not purchased.
Yeah. And then the low-hanging fruit is, Bond, out on Bond.
Ankle monitor as well.
Yeah. And then James Bond, high-class assassin.
Yeah.
British accent.
Charming.
Wears a tuxedo.
Yeah.
Now, this guy, I don't know what's going to happen. He could have been one of the bad guys. He looks like a villain.
He could easily be a villain, yeah. But this just is so confusing to me. They were floating Idris Elba for this for a long time. It seems like the decision was made that we're going to go black on James Bond for a long time, and they finally maybe found their man. I would love to see it flop. It's just such a weird thing to hijack.
It's the only thing we have left.
I know.
It's James Bond and old Disney movies.
And especially Englanders, British people. That's all they got. You're taking the country from them.
That's a good point. You took the whole country and then you replaced their favorite character in their favorite movie series with the people you took the country with.
I know.
So it actually makes sense.
It's part of a system, but
it's systematic.
That's ugly.
All right. We are now moving on to our migrant section, but before we do, we have a very special message from Farmer Bill. Guys, new flavor alert. Farmer Bill has been cooking and beef jerky is never going to be the same. He just launched 2 new flavors, garlic and herb and smokehouse. These two flavors were personally blended by Farmer Bill, and as you guys know, no other beef jerky company does it like Farmer Bill's does. Most jerky companies source their garlic from China because it's cheaper, but Chinese garlic is toxic and contains heavy metals. It would be easy for Farmer Bill to cut corners and no one would even know, but Farmer Bill is a patriot and only sources American garlic. The garlic and herb is a perfect blend of garlic, rosemary, parsley, and basil, and the smokehouse flavor is unlike anything else on the market. He's using smoked paprika, turmeric for a savory and smoky flavor with no liquid smoke, no nitrates, no soy, and no sugar. Just beef, apple cider vinegar, sea salt, and spices. You can bundle these with an 8-ounce slab or buy the bestseller bundle, which includes free shipping. The bestseller bundle includes original, spicy chili, garlic and herb, and smokehouse, a half-pound slab, and 2 jars of their grass-fed tallow balm. Use code FLECKUS20 at checkout for 20% off of your order, a massive offer. Go to farmerbillsprovisions.com. FLECKUS20 is the code. Let's support Farmer Bill. He's a patriot and a show watcher. FLECKUS20 is the code for 20% off. FarmerBillsProvisions.com is the website. It's also linked in the description. Thank you to Farmer Bill for sponsoring. Let's get into housekeeping.
Farmer Bill's Provisions, the perfect protein snack.
All right, thank you to Farmer Bill.
Thank you, Farmer Bill.
We love Farmer Bill. You guys know that. All right, we're in our migrant section, and I do have some good news to start off the migrant section. I think illegals are going to be deported based on this new fake Benjamin Netanyahu quote.
The only way for Israel to defeat Iran is for the United States to deport 30 million illegals.
All right.
Thank you.
It's going to get done.
Thank you, BB.
Phew. That feels good. All right, let's get into our real migrant section. The other day, Trump was talking about all the extra land we have in America.
Yeah, there's been a big discussion about selling off some pieces of federal land, and Senator Mike Lee is somehow involved in championing this bill and saying we should do it.
To give to illegals?
I think so. I think that's the implication.
So I saw a tweet that kind of sums up my reaction to that.
Call me crazy, but instead of selling federal land to Globo Homo, why don't we just deport 50 million illegals, tax the shit out of remittances, end birthright citizenship for anchor babies, and make it illegal for foreigners to own U.S. land? You're welcome, America.
That would be better than selling our federal land to build migrant shelters.
I don't think it's time to be selling off. And then you look at some of the numbers. We'd get X billions for this. And it's like, it's 0.01% of our yearly budget. We shouldn't be selling off permanent birthright shit that we fought for just like a 1% decrease.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way I'm running this thing as long as there are illegals still here.
That's how I feel too, brother. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get into our migrant section. We have some interesting information about job growth. Can you read that Zero Hedge tweet, please?
Yeah, 2 years ago, we first said that all job growth since COVID had gone to illegal aliens and people got angry. Well, and we covered this over the course of the show, all the foreign-born, all the job growth was driven by part-time work and foreign-born workers.
Mm-hmm. So it was people getting like multiple jobs, multiple part-time jobs, and then all the illegals getting real work.
Mm-hmm. And this is, I think, from a Bloomberg. This is a Bloomberg terminal. You would recognize that, right?
I do.
Bloomy?
Bloomer, yeah. Bloomberg.
Bloomy?
I don't know if I call it Bloomy, but yeah.
You never called it a little nickname? All right. And the headline says, employees terrified of ICE raids are failing to show up at work. The U.S. labor landscape is being disrupted by high-profile workplace raids by immigration agents, scaring off undocumented workers and leaving employers unsure of how they'll manage without them. The economic fallout of the raids and deportations could be significant, with California potentially losing $275 billion in economic output, and industries like construction and agriculture are severely disrupted.
So a lot of the people were working jobs.
Yeah.
That's the big takeaway there. And a lot of our tax dollars were spent on these people who were working jobs or just living in hotels and living really well compared to normal Americans. New York City inks $1 billion shelter contract with hotels to house 86,000 immigrants and homeless, despite claims migrant crisis is easing. So that's new.
Yeah, this is New York City. This is the Adams administration, and $1 billion to still pay for migrants. And we should raid those.
Yeah.
We should raid those.
Seems like that's where they're at.
And then it also seems like a money laundering scheme still.
Yeah.
Like they want to give a handshake to the hotel people, consultants, whoever else. So the bleeding has not stopped locally at the state level. Trump is not a cure-all for this, but we can make them scared. Right?
Yep. And then Cernovich posted this. Exclusive, HHS spends $22 billion on grants for migrants, including cash for cars, home loans, and startups.
This was looking backwards. This is just like an expose on what was spent from 2020 to 2024. And the Department of Health and Human Services ramped up grants for migrants, with cash assistance to buy cars, homes, and even build credit for businesses.
Couldn't we have used that?
Of course we could have used that.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm really not wasting so much time or energy or effort on Israel stuff or Iran. We have a lot of things that we need to get taken care of here that need to be corrected, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And we spoke about this in the intro, the before and after. So once ICE comes to a town or a street or a business, there's a huge difference before and after because everyone hides. We have 3 examples of this. First is on the California buses. This is before and after ICE raids. So before, the bus is pretty loaded. Standing room only. A lot of people. A lot of people. And then after the ICE raids, there's like 4 people on the bus.
Yep. And then, you can't really control for peak hours, time of day, or anything like that. So it might be a little bit, but we're seeing some undeniable evidence, like this video from Huntington Park, Pacific Boulevards after the ICE raids.
Huntington Park, Pacific Boulevard after raids.
And the whole street's empty.
Yeah.
The whole town is a ghost town. That's what it looks like after the ICE raids. And then Norm's, one of my favorite diner spots in LA.
Did you actually used to go there?
Yeah, I used to go there a lot. I used to order from there a lot too.
Oh, so they bring the slop to your pig hole?
Yep, yeah. This is what Norm's looks like after the ICE raid. And it's empty. And people are trying to make it seem like ICE is the bad guys for this. Like, oh, you're ruining these small businesses. But like, doesn't that tell you how bad illegal immigration is? That illegal immigrants are like propping up entire industries, basically?
Yeah, that was a small business owner was talking about how Father's Day is usually packed. And this year, Father's Day was empty because it was concurrent with the ICE raid. So everyone was in hiding. And it's like, So he was complaining that his small business was going to struggle if ICE raids continued. And then not looking at the flip side of that, like, how am I going to get housing if our entire economy is made up of fake illegals?
Yeah.
Who will undercut me and are broke and will eat up all the cheap housing, right? So there's a big thing where some people are like, look at how bad this is, the ICE raids. And then we're like, look at how bad this is. ICE has to raid all this. I'm upping my number. We say 20, 40, 50. I'm upping my number to 60 mil now.
60 mil.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's LA, similar things in New York. Can you imagine what's going on in Texas? Those random small towns that you've gotten priced out of or something. All those key cities are going crazy. And then, like we said before, those people are represented in census data eventually, and they get political representation through congressional seats.
Yeah.
And redistricting. So
it's very true. I would love to go to California towns that are empty because the illegals are all gone. It's like, well, that's exactly what I'm looking for. A peaceful afternoon.
I truly believe that we will, there might be some inflation on construction or strawberries or XYZ, little things that migrants are doing the jobs. But I genuinely believe we would have true deflation in the housing market if we genuinely started mass deportations.
Me too.
Which we're not there yet. We're not even close. And we've talked about the self-deportations, but we're not at the numbers we need to be.
Not even close. And while we're trying to get to those numbers, we have NGOs who are actively working against the efforts of ICE. Listen to what this guy does.
Today we're going to Compton, Long Beach, Paramount.
On a regular basis, Tito Rodriguez, executive director of Local Hearts Foundation, and a team of volunteers prepare grocery bags for those in need.
Some bags of bread and some rice.
Lately, that includes people too afraid to leave their homes because of the ongoing ice raids happening across Los Angeles.
Yeah, people are scared to come out. We've gotten thousands of messages. We're afraid to go out. We're even afraid to go to the doctor at this point. So then we assemble and we have somebody deliver groceries.
And after watching video after video of ICE agents detaining street vendors, Tito, known to many as Hood Santa, and his wife Patrina knew they couldn't just stand by.
Hola, señora. Vámonos, vámonos. Está muy peligroso andar en la calle. Sí, vámonos.
They pick up vulnerable street vendors, buy their flowers and other merchandise, then drive them home to get them off the streets and out of harm's way.
Stephen Miller?
That's called aiding and abetting, Stephen.
Yeah. Stephen Miller, you want to shadow this guy for the day?
Yeah.
See what he's up to?
So he should be arrested, and before he's arrested, he should be followed, where you arrest everybody who he drops something off to.
That's a good point. It does feel like he's getting in Tom Homan's way, and that feels a little illegal to me.
I heard Tom Homan make some threats, and I think he has to see those through.
And keep in mind, this guy works for an NGO.
Yeah.
So that's paid for by our tax dollars, and then he...
Maybe. We're not positive, right?
But I'm assuming.
Yes.
An NGO...
He's taking grants.
He's taking grants, but I'm assuming it's tax dollars. So he works for an NGO, which is paid for by our tax dollars, and then he uses our tax dollars to buy all of the fruit and flowers from the street vendors so they can go home for the day. And then... with our tax dollars, he delivers food to people who are here illegally, who are hiding from ICE, who are also funded by our tax dollars.
So our tax dollars and somehow also our tax dollars are again fighting both sides of the battle.
ICE, who is also funded by our tax dollars, now has a harder time doing their job because the NGO funded by our tax dollars is hiding all the people and giving them money so they can live and food so they can live and not go out in public.
You see how the scam works and how much we really need to solve this once and for all?
Gets very frustrating. And then the local communities are pushing back in many different ways. This shop or bodega, they're selling ice piñatas now. You see the ice piñata?
Spotted in Chicago, and they're looking to sell a lot of them. I say we also follow those buyers home.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Because you follow them home and then they have a party, and then everyone at the party, maybe it's 50-50.
Everybody at the party, you announce yourself, you say, hey, it's ICE, and then you go to everyone who runs. It's really simple.
That's a good point. Yeah. When they run.
Steven, are you listening?
How you know. If someone said, hey, ICE is here, I'd go, oh, no big deal.
I'd go, okay,
I have my papers.
You know, I almost called recently.
Oh, yeah?
Well, there's some guys blasting mariachi music who are working construction on my building. And they just didn't seem American to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the process is. Can I just call and report suspected people? So I'm actually going to look into that, and I'll get back to you, the audience.
I think you should go say, hey, papers.
Papers, amigo.
Papero.
Ven aquí, papeles. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know the process, but they were suspected for sure.
And then the ice piñata, before we move on, it's like imagine going to a house party with a bunch of your friends that no one was invited to.
Yeah.
And then you drink all the alcohol and eat all the food. And then the homeowner says, all right, guys, time to go. And then you and your friends who weren't invited go, fuck this guy. Yeah. And everyone supports you somehow. That's like kind of what we're dealing with here. And then in Chicago, Brandon Johnson had some sort of town hall type thing, and he got some pushback from some unusual suspects.
You all sit up there and said you will not allow Trump to come in here and get these illegals. Yeah, you can smile. We're in a $1 billion deficit. And you spent half of our money, half of that on illegals. You campaigned and doubled down that you would not raise property taxes.
I won't raise your property taxes.
You wanted to raise our taxes $300 million. They shut it down. Now we back here for $150 million. Okay. See, this is what we asking now. Since you want to crash out, some of y'all say y'all willing to go to jail for it. Trump, Tom Homan, make an example of this right here first. Please come here first. Spend our tax dollars to go. Michael Rodriguez, you said to take Trump to court to protect these illegals. That's cool because we about to make all of y'all aldermen famous. Y'all think this is how it's gonna ride? I think not. Flip Chicago red. We not playing.
You know about Tom Homan?
I didn't know that.
That's pretty good.
She knew a lot. She knew the budget numbers. She knew the deficit. She knew how much of a piece of shit Mayor Johnson is.
And they said, Tom Homan. That's cool. I like to
drop.
see that name drop. Exactly. And then our last piece of migrants, U.S. Citizen arrested by federal agents, says he heard them bragging about arrests.
Yeah, this is the quote. Garcia, who is a PhD student at Claremont Graduate University, said the officers seemed surprised when he told them he was a U.S. citizen. He says he was first taken to a holding area at Dodger Stadium where he heard agents boasting about how many people they had grabbed. Like, how many bodies did you guys get today? And one of them said 31. And they started like, yay, it was a good day today. And they were like high-fiving each other, Garcia said. He said officers also debated about what they could charge him with.
All right, Ice.
That's great. I like that.
I like that they're bragging and taking pride in their work.
They're competitive.
They want more.
I want to treat a nice worker to something.
Yeah, if you guys are ICE agents...
spouse of an ICE agent or anything?
Yeah, if you guys are ICE agents or ICE agent adjacent, shoot us a DM and I'm going to buy pizza for the whole squad.
Yeah, mark me down as well. So that's at least 2 full, 6 pizza orders.
Yep.
I will get pizza for your squad if you tell me how many numbers you put up today.
And then send us a picture of you guys eating it and we'll blur your faces and we'll put it on the show. Everyone's happy. All right, that's it.
I'm happy to support ICE, dude.
Me too.
And I want them to put up numbers because you've seen what they can do. So, and that's the point too. It's like the empty storefronts, the diners, the places where it's peaceful and quiet, and then like Americans can move back in. You know, where we've white flighted out because areas got too like greasy or whatever. You see what's on the cusp. You see what's possible. Like, oh, wow. And then we move in and then rents are down. And so we really, really need to finish that job, man.
I agree.
We can't just give it away because you can't ask, are you illegal or not, sir? We can't just give it away. And that's why
for too long, we gave it away in an effort to be polite. I don't want to be racist. I'll just keep walking down the road with these 3 black teenagers with hoodies coming at me. Oh, fuck.
My wallet's gone. I'm bloody.
We did it for a while, and now it's time to live in reality and be realists.
We won the election based on that alone. So, yeah, you see what it could be, and you really want to get that, right?
Yep, we're close. All right, we're moving on to our final page of housekeeping where I can say wherever I want. Make sure you guys use the opportunity to click the post. Help us juice the algo. Leave a like, leave a comment again, then start yapping. P.O. box needs to be full. Notifications need to be on. Old episodes need to be watched. The link needs to be sent to the boys in the group chat. And if you're wondering what to send to the P.O. box, this next clip is a clue for you.
As a service technician for a company that does jobs statewide, this is not an uncommon sight. I see this all the time. But we're told to forget and move on.
All right. So that's kind of what I'd be happy to receive in the P.O. box.
Okay.
And I have a lot of those things already.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also looking for those anti-Semitic canes because of how offensive they are, and I don't think anyone should have them.
Yeah.
So I want to take them.
them.
I want to take them away from the public so no one can see those horribly anti-Semitic canes where the Jewish person's nose is the handle and it's gigantic. It's horribly offensive. No one should have that. Send it to the P.O. box, and I will dispose of them.
Okay.
All right, next, Caitlin Clark is under some heat for a recent tweet and a new tattoo she got.
It says the tweet is Happy Juneteenth, and the tweet is Fat Albert, and the image is AI, and the whole thing's made up.
But then she had to reply to it.
I want to clear a few things up. This post is strictly to honor Juneteenth. It has nothing to do with my new tattoo. Yes, I did get another Fat Albert tattoo. It's actually the 3rd piece in what will become a full-body Fat Albert anthology. Please respect the journey.
Thank you, Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. All right.
Pleasure serving with you.
I don't know where we're at.
All right, it's a final page of housekeeping. I'm allowed to cook.
Yeah. I'm not. It's within your right.
Next, there's
I didn't see that beforehand, so I have no idea that was coming.
There was some context.
Okay.
Next, this guy did a door-to-door sales opener that actually worked.
I'm wondering why you hated Wendy's so much.
French fries have changed. I don't like their new French fries. I still like their Frosties.
Not the same thing, man. Honestly, sir, we're talking about a different Wendy's. Wendy's bills go up. I'm sure you hate that, huh?
Scout Allen, solar specialist. Nice to meet you.
All right, that's a good one.
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then he goes into the handshake as if he like did some sort of business thing. All right. A few episodes ago, maybe like a month ago.
Yeah, a while back.
We showed Jersey Mike's, and there's that guy at Jersey Mike's who does the training, and he wears like the recording Ray-Ban glasses. Yeah. And he takes his job very seriously, and there's like a science to Jersey Mike's no one was aware of. It's about putting on a show. It's about customer satisfaction, and there's like these little rules for everything. This is his most recent update.
You said pepperoni is the hardest thing to do catch and flip with. So go ahead. I want you to just do a few right now and just place it right on here. Do like 5 to 6. You could stack it up on top. You don't have to like put it out like it's a 13. And then I'm going to record it so we can watch it back together. Okay. Good there. And then go ahead and lose the gloves, and then I'm going to have you record me doing the same thing.
They're watching film at Jersey Mike's.
They're reviewing the tape at Jersey Mike's. That's how serious this operation is.
And you're blackpilling?
That's pretty good, man.
Hey, there are some institutions in America where there is still customer service and high quality products.
And I like Jersey Mike's more now, and I don't eat there that much, but I think I'm going to go because I like customer service, I like standards, I like excellence. And you know what else stuck out to me when I found this video? I sent this to Fleck. I was like, they're watching film. Like, you know, we played football. We watch film. You learn. You learn what you did wrong, footwork wise, where the blitz came from. Mm-hmm. And these guys are doing it for slicing pepperoni. And a lot of the comments were like, you ain't need to do all that. It was kind of like urban types, like, what's the point? Like people who are kind of just like average haters. People who don't know what it takes to make a great establishment. You know what I mean? Yeah. So a lot of people want to drag you down. They don't want you to be in an exceptional place.
I'm scared to use the meat slicer because I smoked a blunt before work.
Exactly. And, you know, fuck those people. I like a place with standards. I like this guy.
Yeah.
And you know he runs it like, like the military.
He runs it.
So.
And also, you know, how many establishments are still nice establishments these days? Chick-fil-A is close.
In-N-Out, Chick-fil-A, Culver's.
What's the one that puts
we lost Chipotle.
Yeah. What's the one that puts the Bible verse on the cup? In-N-Out?
In-N-Out, yeah.
In-N-Out.
John 3:16, I think, right?
Yeah. John 3:16.
And then the trans Lily doesn't like that.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah.
The demon in her.
So there is, you know, I'm not a big sandwich guy, but if I was, everyone at Subway's Indian.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you go to Jersey Mike's if you like Subways.
Yeah, but I think Jersey Mike's got bought out by private equity, so hopefully they keep it up because I'm on the watch for them not.
They should make this guy a C-suite type.
Yeah, they should.
All right, next is a story that's just frustrating. Glass bottles found to have more microplastics than plastic bottles.
And I think this was a French study. You might be shocked to hear that, but I think it was all from painted bottle caps. I think that was so that there's not like little plastic in the glass, of course. But it's all from the result of opening and whatever.
I'm about to give up and just order a pizza.
That's what I'm saying. If you can't win, then might as well have fun, right?
The other day, I was drinking a diet orange soda, and it's 0 calories, 0 sugar, diet soda, not the best, but whatever. And then I got a weird headache, and then I looked, and it has yellow 8 and red 40 in it. And that's because it needs to be that neon orange, that radioactive orange color. Why does it have to be that way? It's in a can. I don't even see it. I see it for maybe a second as it pours into my mouth.
It's counterintuitive, man. They don't need it. That's the
It
answer.
would be cooler if it was clear and then orange flavor.
Yeah.
That would be kind of like scientific.
Yeah.
But you made it this neon radioactive orange and you added all these food dyes and I was trying to drink a 0 calorie drink and now I get food dyes.
Yeah. Bad.
I can't get away from it. You need to eat more natural. Like our next clip. This is as natural eating as it gets.
Some sort of sea creature being meat cleavered open.
He's not going to eat that.
That's jelly. That's weird.
Yeah, he slurps it up. There's no sauce on it.
No salt, no pepper, no vinegar, nothing.
He likes it. He just slurps it.
Disgusting.
All right. Well, I'm going to finish strong here.
I doubt it. I doubt that.
I made some realizations. This is a tip or a standard for men out there. Men, your shoe size should be 13. your hat size should be 2 clicks in.
Okay.
1 click, you're a fat retard, fathead idiot.
Yeah.
3 clicks, you're close.
Okay.
But those are just some standards for you guys.
Okay.
And a final announcement before we move on to
Are
Cringe.
you size 13 shoe?
Yeah.
No, you're not. You have little fat club feet. You're a little. Don't show me anything. I don't care. Yeah. So what? You wear big shoes. You wear 2 big shoes. You got little fat.
I've been
Neanderthal
size
feet.
13 shoes since like 8th grade.
Yeah, when you were trying to get recruited for football and you
You
started
need the extra
lying.
space, so you
started
stuff
lying.
those things in the shoes, and you're 6'3". Yeah.
Don't listen to him, guys.
Don't listen to me, guys. No one's size 13. I'm just making a joke. All right, a final announcement of the final page
The
of
hat
housekeeping.
one's true, though.
Yeah.
The hat one's true.
Yeah.
If you have a giant head and you have 1 click, don't wear hats.
You don't wear hats anymore. The final announcement, we are going to add to the very end of the show, the final clip of the entire show, every day going forward, the Pure Americana clip of the week in Uplifting Gold every episode. So there will be a Pure Americana clip at the end of every episode. You guys could even send that in if you wanted, and we're going to do that Tuesdays and Fridays.
Okay. So it's the Pure Americana clip of the week, but there's 2 episodes, so we need 2 clips of the week?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think, what do you think, we're going to get reported for that?
Yeah, the FCC is going to come knocking. Sir, you've been misappropriating clip of
Did
the
we
week.
get in trouble
Yeah.
for 2 clips of the week? Who cares?
All right.
All right, that's the end of housekeeping. We're now moving on to Cringe of the Week. All right, our first clip of Cringe of the Week is this woman who's complaining about all men.
Men, if you're still confused as to why we say it's all men, this is why. Anytime I walk anywhere, I get honked at multiple times. I stopped at a gas station yesterday to get me some water and to sit in the shade for a little bit. I had this earphone on. Clearly, I was not looking to engage with anyone. An old man proceeded to harass me the entire time I was sitting there. He wouldn't stop asking questions. He wouldn't stop trying to talk to me. Even when I tried to ignore him, he repeatedly tried to get my attention. And then, when he thought he had it, he asked me if I would give him a fucking blowjob. So yes, until enough of you stop that fucking behavior, it's all fucking men.
You want to be a little more specific?
What color was the man?
Was it a Somali man? Did he ask to see Bob's and Vagine?
Tell us more. What was his vernacular? Hey, baby, let me holla at you. Was that used?
Yeah, exactly. But it's all men.
Paint us a picture.
And that's kind of the problem. We have this thing where it's all men because, like we said earlier, people want to be polite.
Yeah.
And they don't want to offend anybody. But then when you actually have a problem, you can't address the problem at the root cause because you don't want to be specific. That's what happens with the black crime problem.
Yeah.
That's what happens with the trans people.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get specific.
Yeah, it's always all men, but it's never all Somalis or all Pakistanis or all trans people, trans guys. And that's the whole point. It's like they'll call out, no, it's all men. That's the safe one to do. But they can never specifically call out the group who's actually perpetrating it, right?
Yeah. And when Lily Tino is in the bathroom taking pictures of people, it's all women.
Yeah, it's all fucking girls, man. Girls. They have no respect in the bathroom. Girls.
All right. Speaking of trans, let's go to our next clip. This is a trans police officer who is telling everyone and reassuring everyone that they're not going to cooperate with ICE.
Our uniforms can sometimes get mistaken with CBP or ICE. I want to take a moment to differentiate and also say that LBPD SSOs are not involved in immigration enforcement. First, the obvious, our badge. Our badge identifies our title, our department, and the city of Long Beach.
All right, we get it. At least the cop's a man.
Yeah.
That's what I like about that situation. And you have in this situation a man who's pretending to be a woman telling illegals they won't let you get arrested for being illegal and they're not going to cooperate with Border Patrol or ICE. So, I don't know.
That's why we need to execute this, deport 60 million. We've raised the number. That's why we need to execute that vision, because this is still happening in Trump's America.
And that's a police officer.
That's a police officer.
Imagine if the cop said, hey, guys, I know it's July 4th coming up.
A lot of drunk drivers out there.
We are not going to be arresting anyone for DUI.
So if you're drinking, open carrying, kicking a few back, get on the road. If you see a cop, just wave. Give him a wave. I'm drunk. And they'll let you go. There's no equivalent to this. There's no XYZ gets a free pass. This particular kind of crime. Hey, pedophiles. You can diddle all weekend. And it's sick, but there's no equivalent. So why is this carved out? This Stephen Miller, this is aiding and abetting as well.
Yeah, it should be illegal. And it also doesn't accomplish anything because the illegals probably didn't watch your trans TikTok.
Yeah, your little police, Long Beach police Instagram account thing that just gets shared amongst the right wing and laughed at. The illegals aren't saying, oh, look, Miguel, we're safe this weekend.
Yeah, so it doesn't actually do the thing that you wanted it to do. No one's actually going to change their behavior, and all it does is show your local community who follows you on TikTok and Instagram that you guys aren't doing full police work.
Yeah, you're picking and choosing what laws apply. So.
All right, let's get to our next clip. This guy had a disgusting Uber driver, and the car had dog poop in it.
But it's going to have 350.
And you said they're your emotional support animals, so you take them everywhere with you then, or?
Not everywhere, but a lot. Especially when I drive. It's like a third and fourth and fifth or something. And one time it's on my shoulder. Wilbur. I know you want to go back there.
So I just got off the worst half-hour Uber ride of my entire life. This was the first ride ever that I almost did not get into. But I'd already been waiting for 15 minutes for a ride to show up, and this is what I got. I paid for Uber Comfort, and when I hopped in, a dog jumped on my lap. The car not only stank like wet dog, but it also stank like dog poop. She told me that one of her dogs had an accident, and she had tried to clean it up. Now, I've tried to reach out to Uber support 4 different times, but no real person will actually get on a call with me.
All right, so the Uber driver has dog shitting in the car, and then when you try to complain about it, you get stuck in a loop talking to like an AI robot.
Yeah.
And then this lady is probably going to get replaced by AI as well. There's going to be those Elon Musk taxi.
Robo-taxis, Waymos.
So everything is leading back to AI replacing us. The bad driver is replaced, and we're already talking to AI robots when we have complaints.
Yeah, so it's kind of a weird doom loop here, where there's a shitty driver, and that's someone trying to make a little extra money. Yeah. And it should be good, but now I almost want you to be replaced because you're so bad at the job. And they're emotional support, so legally, technically, we can't do anything, and I'll be using Waymos. I'll be using a fucking robo-taxi. And then that's not to mention the Somali types who stare a little too long at the cute girls in the rearview mirror. Mm-hmm. There's different types of horrible, but it's weird. You can't even complain because you got an AI doom loop, and then AI is replacing it. And that's not really good, but I'm ultimately ending up on this side because I'm not getting in a shit car.
Yeah, and you can't get a ride.
So there's no lessons here really other than these people are asking for it.
But we are in our robot section, and they made a new robot that apparently can help you do housework and things around the house that you don't want to do. Here it is.
Yeah, so it's called from Clone Robotics, and they unveiled the new Proto-Clone V1, a faceless humanoid. And I think they created a feature where it actually sweats or something.
Great. So it's like, yeah, robot, just please sweep the floors and clean the sink. It's just like this
muscle-bound freak kangaroo thing.
It's like, is it worth having your house cleaned to keep this entity in your house?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And then people are complaining lately. I saw this CNN article. Have you ever noticed the popularity of white robots? The reason for these shades of technological white may be racism, according to new research.
Yeah.
And I looked into it. The reason the robots are white is because black absorbs heat. And they're like computers and batteries, and they need to be cool at all times. So they do white so it reflects the heat instead of absorbs it, because you can't overheat these computer people.
Yeah, are you saying black people aren't cool? White people are cooler?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But it's not about being rational, as we know.
Yeah, and if the robots were black, they would complain about that too. They'd say, What are you, slaves?
You got a butler bot at the house, and he's black.
I bet you call him the N-word. I bet you call your robot the N-word, huh?
That's such a good point. You can't have the subhuman worker class robot be black.
I know.
Has to be white. All right, next we have, speaking of AI, a translator app gone wrong.
Excuse me?
Excuse me, I don't speak English well. Do you know where the nearest cash machine is?
Yes, free? Yeah, free. I'll take you back, mate. Follow me, I'll take you there.
Shut your dirty black mouth and go back to where you came from, you retarded monkey.
No. What? No. I think he's wrong. Yes. Very wrong. Very wrong. Yes. You want cash point? Yeah. Yeah, money. Yeah. Oh man, wrong. I'll take you. Yeah.
Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
That's what I said. You see how scared he is to offend this person?
And it translated it to the guy who says he can't speak English. He translated it to English.
Doesn't even make sense.
So it doesn't even make sense, but you're so scared and on your heels because you're a monkey now. You
Yeah.
called someone a monkey all of a sudden that you lose all logic and you go, all right, I'm done with you. You're fucking with me. I'm done with you.
You're doing a prank. You got those Ray-Ban glasses that are recording me.
They're really scared.
Yeah.
They're really scared to accidentally call someone a monkey on a social media thing that they didn't even do.
And he's making fun of you the whole time. Mm-hmm. Pretty ironic. All right, we have a couple clips left. They come out of Maine. First, there was a Maine moose tag lottery
for hunters.
For hunters, where they read out like a lottery and everyone who wins gets to shoot a moose. And the Maine governor is very liberal, Democrat.
Janet Mills. Yeah.
Janet Mills. And listen to her reception at this lottery.
Led by my boss, Governor Janet Mills. Thank you.
We get it.
She gets booed for a while, and then she threatens to not read the names if you keep booing me.
Yeah, classic. And it's good because we can't go to the Met Gala.
Of course not.
You can't go to the Moose Tag Lottery.
Yeah, that's part of this bifurcated world that you helped create with like trans kids in sports and stuff, Janet Mills.
Yeah, so college football is ours. NASCAR is ours. Golf is ours. You guys can have drag brunch. You can have the Met Gala. You can have the Grammys.
Take them.
But that's how it plays out.
But know your role. Yeah, the moose hunters weren't very receptive to the liberal anti-Trump governor.
Who brought all the Somalis here.
Oh my God, I'm so shocked, you know?
Yeah. And another reason...
That's what you get. Lay in the bed you made, right? You got Somalis in Portland, Maine. You want trans kids playing sports, and you've fought Trump at some dinner about it.
And then you go to an event with all the gun owners who are properly following the laws so they can shoot a moose, which I don't even agree with. I think you see a moose, you shoot a moose. What do you need a third party here for?
Yeah.
Why do we need
you need a tag? That's conservation. That's Americana.
Yeah,
So don't get too crazy.
I go both ways.
I'm sure they don't even give out that many tags, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
But point being, know your place and don't try to go to the moose hunters thing. Come on.
What were you thinking?
Yeah.
And then, speaking of Maine, here is who they had on TV on the Weather Channel telling everyone about the nationwide weather.
Here's the country, honey. It is hot and humid in the central part of the country near Chicago, I'm seeing. And down there near Raleigh, honey, there is an H with circles, which I can only assume means hurricane. Doesn't mean hurricane, honey.
Pressure.
It means high pressure, honey. Don't worry. Don't worry. There is no hurricane coming Raleigh, North Carolina. Don't worry.
So it feels like Maine is starting to get tired of this shit.
I think so.
You know, you can't even have a real weather forecast because you need to show a drag queen instead.
You got to shove it in the moose hunters' faces, and they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about, and they just say honey a couple times.
But it's fun.
And he's got a cack, and he's got a bunch of makeup on.
And he's in a dress.
He's disgusting.
All right, well, that's the end of Cringe of the Week. We're now moving on to Urban Decay. All right, our first clip of Urban Decay. There is a new crime called jugging. This guy is going to explain it.
They are in the area scoping, and They will watch you as you're either coming in or out of the bank, or watching you do ATM withdrawals and seeing how much you're getting cash-wise.
A wave of arrests began for jugging in Houston. It spread across Texas into both Carolinas. In one place in South Carolina, a landscaping business owner went in a bank unaware that he was being observed, took out his weekly payroll, stopped at a gas station for a soda, and two juggers, they usually work in teams, pulled up alongside his Chevy, broke through the window, and made off with what his entire payroll was, $6,000. Here's what the victim had to say.
I hate juggers.
Me too.
Hard R, jugger.
Oh, yeah.
I said it. Also, to be fair, jugging does count as a black invention.
Yeah,
So add that to the list.
That's true. Actually, they probably took it from someone who was a little more creative and they just really liked it. I don't know.
Yeah, they did like it. And then someone on Twitter replied and gave some more context to other ways they do this operation.
They said many of the illegal aliens selling fruit covered in fly eggs are actually lookouts for these crimes. They have a partner nearby and text them when they identify a target.
Good to know.
That is good to know. And this isn't exactly new. We actually covered a jugging case, but I guess the verbiage about jugging has become more widespread. We're going to play it in the background. Remember this video where this Vietnamese woman in Houston was body slammed after an ATM trip where she withdrew $4,000? She was paralyzed, and these two juggers, I hate juggers, were sentenced after that. We never gave an update. Houston man seen on video body slamming paralyzing woman in February, jugging, sentenced to 30 years. And that's him right there.
Mm-hmm.
Real certain type of jugger. And this girl was also with him, and she actually got a suspended sentence. She got like 10 years probation, and her name is Zynika Woods.
Zynika.
So you look at some of the mugshots of those, and you know who's jugging, right?
And both these incidents happened in Houston, so that's kind of the hotbed for it. And I'm going to do a little experiment here. I'm going to apply Democrat logic to fix this problem instead of keeping repeat offenders in jail.
Okay.
So I think they should close half of the available ATMs and limit the hours of the open ones.
For sure.
They should limit cash withdrawal maximums. They should limit the number of people allowed in the bank at one time, even though the people in the bank aren't doing the robbing.
For sure.
And then make customers get insurance if they have over a certain amount of money in the bank.
Yeah, you summed it up.
And that's a reasonable plan of action. Instead of just locking up people who do crimes and beat people up and rob them, we should do all those other things to make the law-abiding citizens safer.
And then when you do get jugged, a social worker comes. A diminutive woman comes.
And then
she has no weapon.
And then they can break it down and go, well, how much did you take out? 10,000? And how much do you really need? And then how much does the jugger need? 4,000? What if we gave the jugger 2,500 and everyone goes on with their day and no one goes to jail?
Yeah.
That's kind of how it goes.
Yeah, so watch out. I mean, and especially if you're carrying a large amount of cash, they have people, be a little racist because, neo-Nazis aren't really jugging.
That's true.
So watch your surroundings, and especially if you're doing a big one. And these people, like if they're just sitting outside of an ATM smoking Black and Milds, they're waiting until someone hits a big number.
That's a good point.
So,
all right, let's get to our next story, another scam as well. It's about squatting. First, we're going to tell you about a Texas bill that is being pushed through that sides with squatters.
Senate Bill 38 going to the Texas House. And this bill seeks to keep squatters out of our house. Democrats have fought for 2 hours for the right, I don't even know how to say this, for the right of people that don't belong in your house to stay in your house. In the event that you leave for a month or two and a squatter goes in and takes your house over, Democrats are fighting for the ability of those people to be able to stay in your house. It's the most jacked up thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, don't mess with Texas, brother.
Well, the Republicans are in control and they're doing it, and Democrats are fighting it. So it's just the typical Democrat, like, no, Republicans can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So they're forced to take the wrong side of an issue, a retarded issue.
Yeah, sign of the times at least.
Yeah.
And then this next woman was caught facilitating houses for squatters.
Yes.
So she tells squatters where to go, where empty houses are, and then she's confronted, and look how she handles it.
Why are you connecting individuals to squatter houses on your social
following
media?
me to court is crazy.
Miss Washington, you can record us, but I'm very curious why you're following.
Do y'all see that? Get away from me before I clock you. I'm not playing with you.
Before you clock me, Miss Washington?
Get on my face.
So why are
Could
you...
you get on my face? Get on my face. Get on my face.
Why
Get on my
are you
face.
connecting people?
Get on my face.
Why are you connecting people?
What you talking about? I don't play like that. Y'all run it down on me and all that. Don't play with me. What you talking about?
Before you clock me, Miss Washington. And then we have some context here about what she exactly was doing. Can you give those points a read?
Yeah, Maryland woman allegedly connects squatters with properties, trading cash for keys and leases to homes she doesn't own or manage. Kanaya Washington has been accused of advertising empty houses on her Instagram account to help with squatting. Allegedly, she charged people a one-time fee ranging from $1,500 to $5,000 to connect them with these properties. In exchange, she reportedly provided keys and forged lease agreements, enabling people to move in and claim residency. In one case, a family of four occupied a home owned by Mike Haskell after allegedly paying Washington for access.
So is she a real estate entrepreneur?
Yeah, she basically has a job at this point.
Yeah, it's like you're doing the job of a real estate agent. You're advertising the property. You're providing people with a fake lease. You're providing them with a move-in date and keys.
You meet up with them to show them the place.
It's just not legal at all. And you're doing it for squatters and you have no affiliation to the home. But you're basically doing the job of a real estate agent, which is somewhat honorable.
That's what I'm saying. Why not just try? I'm sure you could do it with black people, and they might go to a real estate agent named Kanaya Washington.
Yeah.
But instead, she's just a human leech on the system and then gets mad that maybe even a news station will find this newsworthy. So very funny that, certain point, you're like, damn, I met up with him, I marketed, I did it, you're backdooring it to all these skills, but you're doing the scumbag thing instead.
It's a job.
You basically work full time and just a little less, and you cut corners. And then also her outfit to court.
Yeah.
Giant, fat, midriff, tight, skin tight.
She does the repeating.
And this is such this is one of those cases where you're a sociopath by low IQ, you know? You're
That's a good point. You're not a sociopath because you're so smart and just emotionless and you're just getting it done. You're too stupid to even think about other people or how your behavior affects other people.
Yeah. Unironically, someone like this should get a really heavy sentence. I was going to say the death penalty. A really heavy sentence. That's all I'll say.
Thank you for holding back.
You're welcome.
All right, next there was a fight at Holiday World.
And there's some music, so we can't play it, but Holiday World, summer.
So here they go.
The ravenous pack is beating the man.
And you'll notice in a few seconds here, the white guy doesn't hit the black woman when he has the opportunity to. But then a few seconds after that, the black guy does hit the white woman. So there's something interesting there. Doesn't hit her, kind of restrains himself. But then the black guy comes over, takes off his backpack, and he hits the white woman right there.
Fascinating, but not surprising.
Yeah, and it is pepper spray season. There's a perfect example of how you can de-escalate with pepper spray season. Yeah. And, seeing stuff like this reminds me of what can we do to help Israel with Iran?
Yeah, I was going to say, can we circle back to that yet? Can we circle back to that issue?
Yeah. All right. Our next clip is from England, I believe. It takes place abroad. This woman gets confronted, and look how she handles it.
My daughter here.
Yeah? I don't give a fuck.
I go there. I call the police.
Have a fucking attitude, yeah? Record,
Record,
bitch. Record. You think I'm playing? You think I'm gonna wet you? You think I'm gonna wet you? You think I'm gonna wet you? What? Because you were the buggy?
Which I have my daughter here.
I don't give a fuck.
I have my daughter here.
Yeah? I don't give a fuck.
I go there. I call the police.
Have a fucking attitude, yeah? Big enough to have a fucking attitude, yeah? But you're with your kid. Fucking dumb bitch. What should I do to you?
Nothing. I just asked to her, excuse me.
I don't give a fuck. You're meant to wait. You're meant to wait. Fucking dumb bitch. Dumb bitch.
So she just said, excuse me.
She was blocking the sidewalk with luggage.
And the woman said, you're meant to wait, and then throws hot coffee at her, and the woman has her kid. And the black woman here who throws the coffee, she looks like a normal, well put together person.
She's in some traveling clothes. She looks like she's headed to the airport or something.
Designer sunglasses, but she still chimps out.
Yeah. And nobody tried to stop her. They were like, just go to the woman filming. And then the one who's really freaking out, nobody tries to stop her. And it's your child's first fatigue, your child's first experience.
And you have a violent repeater. Mm-hmm. You know? That's
You're going to see that a lot.
You really are. And then we have a little bit of a euphemism update for this week. Callous home invaders choke punch elderly victims in brazen New York City home invasion. Callous home invaders. Always keep an eye out for callous home invaders, guys.
I hate callous home invaders. And they're beating up elderly people.
Yep. And then this next clip, there was a hit and run where a pregnant woman was killed, I believe. Here's the clip.
Tiffany is being dragged by the vehicle going the wrong way up the boulevard. There at the top of your screen, you see the suspect take off. Tiffany is being dragged by the vehicle going the wrong way up the boulevard. Police say that driver kept going into oncoming traffic on Lafayette, hit several parked cars, and then took off on foot.
So obviously a horrible story, and the thing I wanted to point out is the name of the hit and run driver. Can you read that name?
Chaquasia Pigford.
Chaquasia Pigford. Chaquasia Pigford did a hit and run and killed a pregnant woman.
And this is one of those things where you're like it's the same as the woman freaking out throwing the coffee. Like you did something kind of stupid, and then now your low impulse control and retardation makes you go way farther. So you hit someone, you were attempting a hit and run, and now you did a double murder because the baby counts too.
Yeah.
So
very sad.
That's how quick your life can get thrown away, Chaquasia. But I had a feeling you were on track for this type of thing anyway with a name like that.
Me too. All right, our next and final clip from the whole Urban Decay. You know white flight. You know what that is, right?
Yeah. Leaving to the suburbs.
Yeah. This is white fight.
Okay.
You wanna fucking jack with this? Stop! I will fucking zap the floor, you motherfucker. I don't think so, man. Really? You wanna do this? You really wanna fucking do this, motherfucker? Let's get the fucking do this. Slow down. You better get the fuck out of here now. I told you you don't wanna fuck with me. I will end you. Get the fuck out of here now. I'll count to 3. If you're not out of here, I'm gonna rearrange your fucking face. You understand me? Do I look like I'm fucking around? Get the fuck out of here. Oh, really? Fucking motherfucker! Okay, stop, bro. Stop right now. Stop. Help me.
All right, but I liked when he goes, stop.
He tries to
stop.
Yeah.
You don't want any of this, bud. Stop. That was pretty good. All right, well, that's the end of Urban Decay. We're now moving on to Uplifting Gold. Don't get too down or too depressed. All right, our first clip of Uplifting Gold, there was a prank at the store where the guy in the vest is calling the guy in the yellow shirt a lady, and it's pretty funny.
Sir, lady, listen. What? I'm saying, I'm trying to control the situation, ma'am. I'm a sir. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but you grabbed the football, buddy.
No, I didn't. Hold on, there was a... If you call me that, I'm gonna get your ass fired. Because you're not gonna call me a fucking jackass again. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. Okay, I didn't touch those footballs. That'll get me fired. Yeah. There was a lady working here who has all this stuff. I'm telling you. There's a lady that...
Hey, buddy, if it was... I didn't call you a liar, buddy.
If you're lying, buddy, that's not cool because if she didn't do it, she didn't do it.
She did it, though.
Who is she? You or she? I am...
All right, this is another one of those where I don't really like it that much because he's fucking with a normal guy and he's a fucking... He should be deported.
Yeah.
He should probably be deported, or his mom.
But I like when they say, ma'am, I'm trying to de-escalate. He goes, who are you? What are you talking about? All right, next, this guy's teeing off.
Fuck! You okay?
That's It's a 1 in a million hitting the T marker.
That's tough.
It's real bad golf.
Bad golf. Next, this guy does a prank in the golf place.
Doing a lot of pranks. I don't think this qualifies.
Hey, Drew, I just finished up. I'm just wondering what the course record is.
I believe it's a 62, sir.
Okay, that's good to know. I shot 127.
That's funny, right?
Yeah.
All right, next, this
Good
guy.
bit.
This guy works at an old people home, and he's a singer, and I think he likes his life.
Return to sender. Return to sender. I gave a letter to the postman. He put it in his sack. Bright and early next morning, he brought my letter back. She wrote upon it, return to sender. Address unknown.
All right, that's fun.
Okay.
You like that?
Not really.
He has a he. I don't know.
Reminds me of some a miserable old folks home.
Yeah.
Don't like that.
And also, that guy wants to be a singer, and I think he's getting complacent.
Yeah.
He's happy with what he's doing, even though this wasn't his goal when he was a kid who wanted to be a singer.
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
So it's
but
actually,
not everybody can be selling out stadiums, right?
Hey.
Somebody's got to sing to the old folks home.
So there's
There's honor in it.
There's no longer uplifting. I'm crossing it off.
Okay, cross it off.
All right, Mini Trump.
Americans celebrating my birthday. I do this for you, and we're gonna make cake stands great again.
It does look kind of interesting.
Mini Trump.
Mini Trump, that's about his only market is frat parties.
That's pretty good.
500 a pop.
Yeah, that's good business.
Yeah, that is
but
good
there's
business.
also
I live near 7 colleges. Mini Trump.
yeah, but you can go on tour, but there's a sunset to it, 2028.
Yeah.
All right, next, this is Americana, but it's not the pure Americana clip of the week. This guy, I don't know, they're pranking him, but it's funny.
That's what that lady up there at the Y, that girl, she said, you really need to tell your friend he needs to slow down on his drinking.
Fuck that little fat bitch.
Yeah.
Fuck that ugly.
She said he comes in here and he at least spends $500 on lottery tickets and beer a
Oh,
week.
that's a bunch. I got $500.
Well, she says he buys she said he buys 5 $20 tickets a day in lottery, loses them.
She's full of shit.
You don't buy that?
No.
Oh.
And second off, ain't none of her fucking business.
All right, we get it. It's just funny. Hey, that little bitch.
No.
That's
Certain type of guy,
Americana.
dying breed.
Yeah, it is a dying breed. Next, we have some country kids who are built different.
Sonora, come here. What do you got? You wild animal? Hey, stop. Quit dragging them. Hold on for a second. What do you got there, kid? You got snakes? Cool. Hey, quit dragging them.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Little kids aren't scared.
Yeah.
And our final clip of Uplifting Gold, our pure Americana clip of the week, is Diggerland, USA.
Diggerland? Juggers? We're getting close this epi.
Welcome to Diggerland USA, the only construction-themed water park and park in the U.S. Come on a tour to all the dry rides. This is one of the most unique carousels called the Dig Around. This is our Spin Dizzy. This is a full-size excavator that spins around in both directions. This is our Big Diggers. You can operate a real excavator. Live out your digging dreams. When you come to Diggerland USA, you can operate a real dumper truck. This is a fun event for all families. On these excavators, you can play interactive games with ducks and bowling. This is the Grease Beast, where you can feel what it's like to be dumped out of the dump truck. These are our farm tractors. Feel what it's like to drive a real farm tractor. This is our ground.
All right, we get it.
Yeah.
That's Americana, though, a construction-themed park.
Yeah, there you go. I think that seems expensive. Giant excavators just to do a little swing around. It's like, that's like a, $250,000 machine. And you're just doing fuck around stuff with the family.
They all look pretty new.
Okay.
All right, well, that's the end of Uplifting Gold. We do have a special announcement for Justin.
Okay.
Justin, this is a special announcement for you. Your wife, Lane, and your daughter, Fia Jean, want you to know that there's another baby on the way.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Justin.
Your wife's pregnant.
Your wife's pregnant.
That's the first of its kind announcement.
You're the father.
You're the recipient. Justin, you are the father. Yes, it's not Jerry Springer or whatever, Maury. But
so congratulations to you guys, and thank you to Lane for letting us break the news.
Honored to be a part of it.
Honored to be a part of it as well. That is the end of the episode. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. FleckisTalks.com for 30-minute bonus land dropping right now as well. Have a nice week. We'll see you on Friday.
From Cringe of the Week and Urban Decay, there's uplifting gold and Fleckis pets getting trolled. Coming up to brighten your day. The only way the show can be defined. The best news podcast of all time. Best to keep the P.O. box full. We won't stop till the world is rid of all the people. way the show can be defined. The best news podcast of all time. Words are just words until action actually starts. Flex talks, and actions speak louder than words. Flex talks, but at the same time, words speak louder than actions. Flex talks, because sometimes it's the right thing.
Wow. You watched all the way through to the last second. You must be a bonus line member if you like the show so much. You watched all the way to the end, right? You must be a bonus line member. No? No. Oh. Okay. Well, thanks.